corner, we have the Italian champion, the Iron Golem. Don't bother throwing flowers at this fighter, ladies and gentlemen. They'd rather hand one to you. And taking on this titanium-ish titan in the blue corner, we have... the Warden? Why did I bet my entire life savings on the Iron Golem?
There are plenty of Iron Golems that have killed Wardens. They're very tough.
Oh, isn't the Warden meant to be stronger, though? Doesn't anything in this game make sense?
No.
Doesn't feel quite right.
It's okay.
Good. And there's nothing suspicious about the fact that you're laughing at all. Many centuries ago, approximately, there was a time when Iron Golems weren't in Minecraft.
There was a point in time where villagers first got introduced and they were originally called testificates.
What a coincidence! I was also originally called testificates because my parents didn't like me.
They were roaming around in village houses, which are actually quite empty at the time. They didn't have many decorations or anything.
They also had no way of defending themselves. It was pretty depressing to visit a village only to discover the skeletons and zombies had beaten you to it.
Players wanted the villagers to be able to use weapons to defend themselves. I really didn't want that, so I thought that they needed some kind of guardian to protect them.
We interviewed several mobs for the role, but soon realized we needed to create a new mob for it. We had lots of ideas for a villager defender, ideas like
Sturdy, mossy, and friendly.
but also
Reliable, and reliable. A mob you can trust.
to trust. I'm not familiar with the concept.
I worked together with another of our developers, Jon. We both had a little bit of the Iron Giant in mind, but I wanted it to have a villager head because, of course, the villagers would make it in their own likeness.
But a bit bigger, a bit heavier, a bit stronger.
And we couldn't undermine that strong, heavy appearance with a silly voice. Like this! No.
Something that makes golems unique compared to other mobs in Minecraft is that they don't have what we call ambient sounds. The golems are just the material that they're crafted with, iron. And that's what you hear when they walk around. We use something called an impulse response reverb, which is basically an echo recorded into something.
How about we show an example of an impulse response reverb? Like, say, this goat screaming in a canyon. The impulse is our goat friend yelling, the response is the sound that bounces around the canyon, and the reverb is the echo that trails off the canyon. And that's essentially an impulse response reverb. Can we, please stop playing this now?
So you record an echo in a metal can, for example, and then you put other sounds in that echo, and then you have sort of the Iron Golem sounds.
As someone so opposed to showering that I regularly discover new types of moss growing on myself, I was delighted when they finally added a relatable mob to the game.
The vegetation, the purpose of it is to give it a little bit more variation in the way it looks, but also add age to it, as it's been in that village for a very long time.
It's been here for a while, and it has seen some things.
I think the Iron Golem is one of those stereotypical silent giants.
I don't think they're thinking too much. They're just constructs.
Oh, also relatable.
I don't think it's the point where it's like it's just following orders or it's only doing what it's programmed to do, but it does feel a little bit more like it has this sort of core drive, core purpose.
They take their job very seriously, as I found out when I've accidentally smacked a villager once or twice.
Aha, accidentally. Sure. You do know we record these confessions, right?
Sorry.
One part that I really like about the Iron Golem is that it flings things up in the air when it attacks them.
There was actually a point where Iron Golems could fling Wardens up, and as a result, Iron Golems always won. When I saw that as a developer, I was almost offended. The Warden can't be so easily defeated by just a few iron blocks and a pumpkin. So I specifically nerfed the Iron Golem by making it so they could not fling up Wardens.
There is one hostile mob the Iron Golem will never attack, though. Me. I mean, the Creeper. The Iron Golem attacks me all the time, and rightly so.
We want players to be in control of what happens to their work. If there is a random event that causes destruction, the player needs to be involved in some way. So even if a creeper can explode and hurt a player, but then it was technically the player's fault, they should have paid more attention. But if you have two mobs that interact with each other that causes destruction, then the players are unable to do much about it.
Still, they defend villages from all the other hostile mobs. What higher purpose could there be than protecting these poor, defenseless villagers?
You would not.
An iron farm is when a player builds a mechanism that gives them unlimited iron in the cruelest way imaginable. At the risk of sounding hyperbolic, this is the worst thing any human being has ever done in the entire history of time.
Don't they think about how the Iron Golem feels about that?
I'm going to take a wild guess and go with no.
I think at this time we reached some kind of understanding, game designers versus players who wants to create these. We want to keep the iron farms, but it needs to require some effort from the player's perspective.
How could anyone want to hurt these iron icons? They're a fundamental part of the Minecraft experience, I tell you.
I definitely think the main legacy is the fact that it can be built. It's almost like crafting a mob. You know, the game is built around crafting and the sandbox gameplay. And the fact that you can assemble blocks in a certain way and then a creature comes out, like that to me is very indicative of what Minecraft is.
When you are in a village and you hear the heavy footstep of an Iron Golem, maybe it's late in the night before you're going to bed, there is something extremely comforting about that sound. You can sense that you are protected. It's okay to go to sleep here.
What a lovely sentiment. Anyone else got something nice to say about the Iron Golem?
You're doing a good job. Great job. The best.
He never says that about me. Thank you for joining us for this celebration of the Iron Golem. And if you're one of our Snow Golem viewers who only watch to see if you got a mention, I'm afraid this sentence is all you're getting. See you next time.